Hello, and welcome to Idle Red Hands. So, as you can tell from the title, we're having a little Nurgle special here. I had this box of Space Marine Heroes that's been sitting around forever, and I figured, being quarantined, I would do something Nurgle related. So this is the box. I think it was also released in the English-speaking market too, but this is the Japanese version of the blind box. First they did Space Marine Heroes, so I think they did like lieutenants or different Space Marine characters, and by the third series they did two Space Marines, and by the third series they did Deathguard. So because I have Deathguard Army, I got the Deathguard box, and so this is all six. One box is all six of the individual characters. Oh, and here you can see on the back. So it's these three models plus the mystery model. And I thought I would just do a little assembly tonight and just, yeah, hang out with anybody that's going a little stir crazy and feeling confined and getting in a little Nurgle action here. So this is just one of those, yeah, the box is just meant to do this at retail. And so I'll just take out the individual boxes and we'll go through them. Oh, actually, good. This completely comes off, so that'll be out of the way. Nice. And I'm not sure which order it would be best to do this. Do they literally show? No, they don't. Yeah, they don't just show a standard on the back. So they are blind boxes, and they're distributed by Max Factory. So this is how they come. And I believe there's a card in here. So I believe there's like a Space Marine game. There's like some other type of thing you can do with them because they have, or maybe it's just a flavor card. Yeah, I guess it's not related to like their combat cards or anything. But yeah, and let me know in chat if the audio is okay, if you can hear me okay. The microphone's down near the computer, so it might be a little noisier than usual. But just let me know in chat. But yeah, so here's what the boxes look like, and I guess we'll just take a look at them one at a time. But they do come with a card with some flavor text on them, and in this case in Japanese. Oh yeah, they are all sealed, so we'll start at the back and take this. Oh, let's open it real quick. But yeah, so that's a real popular thing in Japan, is the blind box, blind bag characters, because of course the vending machines, the gacha gacha or gachapon vending machines are so popular still here. So that's a great money maker, is to get people buying, you know, multiples of the same thing. All right, so here's what the sprue looks like. Wow, they give you, there's a lot of stuff in each box. So that's it for that box. All right, so that's the character that we've got, and it looks like he's got a plague thrower, and it's great. There's a little Nurgling. These had a lot of character, so that was one of the reasons that motivated me to pick them up. They'll make an interesting, interesting Deathguard Killteam, or just additions to the army. And here is every location in Japan where you can find a Warhammer store. And just to think, just a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, there were none. It was all just local game shops that carried Warhammer. And so there's your flavor text. That's nice. They give you some art so you can, and then an example of the painted model. Space Marine Heroes, and then, oh, assembly instructions. Oh, that's nice. So specific to each character. Well, that's nice. And here, yeah, here's a little bit bigger. Everybody's art. Yeah, series 3. Yeah, no, I guess a total of 7, because there's a random. Yeah. Wow. So there's some, there's some very cool options. So there are 6 in this box, so I guess that isn't everything in this series. So this guy with the plague bears. Oh, it's nice. And they've got the scenic bases. Yeah, here's a quick, see if I can get the camera to focus. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a little, so it's a colored plastic. It's a little shinier colored plastic. And I've noticed that some of the colored plastics have a little bit different consistency than the webcam is all me holding a sprue in it. But I've noticed a little bit of different consistency in the plastic when it's colored, so I'm not sure quite what that is, but they clean up a little differently. And of course, because it's colored plastic, you leave more obvious marks and things, so you just have to kind of go by feel to make sure you're smoothing everything out. And it looks like these are push fit. Yes. Yeah, so this is all push fit characters, so monopose and push fit. Yeah, sorry, these have been around for a while, so this isn't going to be any new information, but I haven't opened this box and it's been sitting for so long, and I haven't given my Deathguard any attention. So I thought in our plague-ridden state, this might be a good opportunity. So, yeah, the base is great, though. Very Nurgle base, and there's already the ends of the boots on there, and a space for the Nurgling. So there's going to be a lot. There's not really going to be any bits from this, but there's going to be a lot of nice Nurgle and Nurglings. Yeah, you can see already. Oh, and there's a couple of head options, though, so there will be some bits, because they do give you head options. That's cool. All right. Well, let me just keep the assembly instructions handy, just in case. But, yeah, it looks really straightforward, though, and they do that a lot with the push fit. And so if you don't know typically the models just fit together, and they expect you to glue them. But in this case, you can actually cut them off the sprue, or probably break them off the sprue, which is, I wouldn't advise, because you're going to have to do some repair if you do it that way. But I know that like some of the other plastic model kits, and especially ones intended for children, the connection from the sprue to the model is pretty small, so you can literally just break the pieces out by hand. And because these are all push fit, then you can just push them together and play. Oh wow, yeah, great backpack, and the Nurgling, it's got some great detail. Look at that guy. Wow, good stuff. All right, well, let's bust him open. Yeah, because these are push fit, they're gonna be pretty easy to put together. And I may just use, so what I typically use is the Tamiya super thin. Oh, there's a price tag over that. Oh, so both of these. Let me take off the price tag so you can actually see the label. But well, that helped a lot. Ta-da! Okay, so this is the Tamiya extra thin. And the nice thing about this, if you can see, it's got a really nice narrow brush. And because it's so thin and it's fast drying, you can just, on basically pieces that you're holding together, like if you dry fit pieces and are holding them together, you can just run some of this along that seam, and capillary action will just kind of pull the cement into that seam and do the work for you, so you don't have to be pulling things together, putting them apart, and any place where they're touching will be sealed by this cement. So it's really nice to get a nice fit, and especially with push fit, although I have had the experience with push fit in the past where some of these pins, the models usually go together. The Games Workshop models usually go together so amazingly. But with the push fit, sometimes the pins are a little too fat or a little too long, so you get really weird gaps. So sometimes you just need to either cut the pins down or cut them off completely and just rely on gluing them. But if you're not going to glue them, and you're not terribly worried about the look of everything, then that's gonna be okay, I suppose. But yeah, so let's take a couple of these pieces off. Yeah, so there's pins for everything. So we'll see. I'll see if there's any examples of how poorly this does or doesn't work. So yeah. And the mold lines are pretty minimum, so you can either use, they make a, oh, sorry, I'm not even on camera. They make a scraper, a mold line scraper, which I do not have handy. But I like my old dull X-Acto knife. I think it's X-Acto brand, it's Ulfa, Ulfa knife. I've dulled the blade so perfectly that it doesn't dig in or make those jagged patterns on the plastic, because I've been using it so long. So I like this as a, and sometimes it can conform. The scrapers are pretty thick, and I can conform to some smaller and more curvy parts. And there was a connection up at the top. Oh, right, there we go. But just take all the little extra pieces. Yeah, mold lines aren't bad at all. The nice thing about Nurgle is damage and mistakes just makes them extra Nurgly. You get a little bit of a little margin for error that I don't think you get with other. Oh, and see that so they put the connections at the end of the pins too, so you don't even have to worry about cleaning those because they're not going to be seen. Oh, that's a. Let's see. Yeah. So it's just the pins and then right here on the side of the leg. So I apologize if I pull off. Oh, actually, yeah, let me just move my seat up a little bit here so I'm more easily on camera. So I hope everyone is safe and doing well in these wonderful plague-ridden times. So so Outer Red Hands is based in Japan, so currently I am in Japan being all quarantined and stuff. I'm not quarantined, I'm just, what is it, social distancing. I've just been working from home and kind of doing most of my work from home. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. You see, we're going to have a little bit, let's see, not too bad. But, yeah, the push fit I think are even designed a little bit because you see the armor plate is actually meant to be larger in the front than the side, so that seam makes a lot more sense. Yeah, but as you can see from the push fit, that's not going to come apart once you get it all the way in on the pins. And they did a pretty good job of the seam is just kind of in the design of the armor where the plates meet. So the layers work pretty well. So yeah, it's not amazing, but yeah, so that's the similar kind of experience I've had in the past with the other push fit. So I'm just going to run a little quick bead of cement just to get things, extra tight. So you can see, well, maybe you can't because I'm not on camera. But if I was on camera, you would have seen the cement just kind of flow into that little seam there. And yeah, so just for a little extra insurance and to kind of get that as tight as possible, I'll just let that cement take hold. And I'm not sure head-wise if we want to do. So here's our head options. Oh, did I? Oh, yeah. That's right. This is push fit. So I need to put that head in. It's not a pin. It's it's like more of like a tab. Oh, this is so stupid. All right, push fit. It should say. I think they do have an icon for that, don't they? It should say on the box though, push fit, so you know. How disappointing. Oh, that's a nice rotten head. So there's no helmet and there's helmet. Oh, wow. It's hard to say which. Let's see. Well, this is drawing, but as you can see, it's not a pin. It's actually a little stub there that needs to be held in by the lip of those two pieces of the body. So let's see. Helmet. Whoop. Helmet or no helmet. Wow, that is ugly looking. That's great. Well, it's got a seam though, right down the middle of his forehead. Let's see how the helmet is. Yeah, the helmet's got kind of the same thing going on there. As you can see, yeah, the camera is cooperating. Seems to be staying in shape. And I hope you can hear me okay. I've got the mic pretty low. So let's go. Yeah, that's crazy. You got to make that choice right now. Let's go helmet. Oh, no, I'm sorry, no helmet. I like the detail. Yeah, it's weird though. That seam is pretty. He's got like a Bane mask on, but as you can see, that seam is pretty harsh. But you do get a little bit of option in the head position. Kind of, yeah. It looks like they want both. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, oh, I don't like. Yeah, Actually, let's take a look at both, because we've got the opportunity. I like how the head was floating and that. So, yeah, that's nice. The old heresy era armor. Or the little juicy head. I guess both of them have plenty of pus and stuff. Or the whoa Bane mask looking. I like. I'll go with the helmet. I think that'll be more fun to texture and distress. All right, so now we'll definitely need to. Yeah, that's frustrating. I don't like that. You don't have quite the options with the head. Sorry, I keep going off camera here. I keep forgetting how far into the middle of the table this is. Okay, so a little more cement on the top there, and yeah, his head is got a little bit of a tilt that way. Nice. Yeah, he's kind of looking down. Trying to get some of that seam away. Oh yeah, it's not bad. The one on the face is actually kind of worse. It's running right up through his forehead. But if I run into another set of these, then we'll have options. Although it is, with just a head difference, there's no weapons or pose variation. And here, just to give you a quick idea. Oh, okay. Well, that's actually the back of the boots. Oh yeah, because look how there's all that distance. Well, that pin, yeah, let's see if that cooperates. Yeah, there we go. So that gives you an idea of what he looks like on the base. Nice. Yeah, I like that helmet. I like the helmet option with the fungus shoots coming off of it. Those little tentacles that are on the Nurgle little beast, the beast of Nurgle. Nice. Yeah, that camera is actually cooperating for once. Yeah, so here we have the arms are going to be on these pins. So I guess, depending on where his hands are, they might just, yeah, it looks like they're just going to be plugging into the weapon. But I like that backpack a lot. Wow. Yeah, so these are pretty straightforward assembly. So great. I mean, these are, and I guess that's why they're blind box, because that sometimes attracts kids a little bit more. But these would be great models to assemble for the first time, and especially when you see the detail, especially on this Deathguard stuff that Games Workshop did. I mean, I loved the Dark Imperium set. There were so many like bizarre little details and maggots and things just tucked in. There was a backpack that had these kind of exhaust pipes on the back, and there were literally, when you assembled the pipe, there were literally maggots crawling into the pipe that you wouldn't even see. I mean, I guess if you did some damage or something and tore open part of the backpack as damage, you could expose them, but there were such little details everywhere, and some of it wasn't even going to be visible when you put it together. It was, yeah, really. Oh yeah, here's like a little, let's see how the camera can handle this. There's a little worm on the old backpack there. Or is that a torn cable? It looks like both, and there's some rot coming through. I just love how the plague marines are just all spiky and desiccated versions of the Heresy Marines. Yeah, so the pose is decent. Yeah, and the connections to the sprue is really light. They're really tiny, so I think that's making the assumption that you could pull them off. Yeah, and they do have, what's that? Like those shady companies that do the, sometimes they'll do plastic models, or it's a kit that you build, but you get like one piece every month or every week or whatever. There's a magazine, and then there's a piece of the model included. And so you build a car or a motorcycle, or in this case, Space Marines. and Games Workshop partnered with one of those kind of shady companies where you're paying a lot per issue, but they're giving you like paint and some different pieces. I'm totally forgetting what it's called now, but yeah, they got into that business of like a monthly. So I'll have to move this around, and I'll just tap some glue under those arms once I see where the pose is. But yeah, decent. Oh, sorry, that was the microphone. That just here's the Nurgling. We'll take him off so you can see. Yeah, and he's just got a big pin on the bottom, so obviously that hole in front of the Plague Marine is where he goes. Well, yeah, sorry. But yeah, there's great detail. And he's got the same sprouts on his head that the Marine has. And like a skull, more of a skull face. Nice. So yeah, this is not the most exciting part. Just building, but I thought I would get on. I have to do a live stream tomorrow from home for a cartoon that I draw, so I wanted to give this a little test and make sure my internet was going to cooperate, and it looks okay. It looks like we're not dropping any frames and everything seems to be going well. Yeah, the last time, if you noticed, I was trying to stream Mechanicus on this channel, the Adeptus Mechanicus, the kind of tactical strategy game, the PC game, and yeah, between the streaming software and the game itself, it was just choking, and then my internet dropped to make it even more lovely. But yeah, oof, that's a pretty thick tab, and oh, he'll have a little bit of variation, a little bit of range. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I can kind of tip, as you can see, I'm going to rotate him on that pin to make him have a little bit more interesting pose. Yeah, it looks like he's just eating. Ah, that's cool. All right, so there's the Nurgling. It looks like all of these have some Nurgling details. And here's the disgusting plague-filled backpack. They did some nice, they always have nice details on the hoses too. They're always ruptured and have the kind of inside of them all corroded and leaking out. But yeah, so this is oh, yeah, it's all very straightforward stuff, and the mold lines are not bad at all. And that's nice that the points of contact on the sprue are minimal as well, to make them, you know, easier to clip. Sorry, I keep moving things close to me. So they're easy to clip, and so there's less to clean up, which is nice. And I was surprised on the armor how they hid that, how that the two sections were hidden exactly in that seam. They do that a lot. It's pretty impressive. But I guess it's all basically CAD design now. It's all and I wonder how they do that. I wonder if the artists are allowed to just kind of, you know, put together the model and everything, and then there's actually someone that takes it apart and technically, you know, figures out how much plastic it's going to take, and figures out the weight and balance of it, like actually does the engineering of it. I'm curious what that process is like, because that would be a lot to consider, a lot, you know, like a lot to keep in mind when you're sculpting, if they're like doing ZBrush or Mudbucks sculpting to make these, and then have to keep in mind, like, you know, how it's going to stand and how you're going to hollow it out. Which way are we going here? Which way are we going? Let's see. Oh, it goes on the, oh, it's the other half of the, oh, there it is. It's the other half of this. I was trying to put it in that other section there. Oh yeah, I was trying to put it where it connects to the back. There we go. So there's the tank on his back for his spewer. Yeah, this one actually has got, yeah, a little bit more of a gap. But we can get rid of that. Cool. Okay, yeah, so that's the contact. Oh. Squeeze that for a sec. Yeah, so that's the contact point on the back. So the pin on his back will put in there. Yeah, and all that's left is the weapon. What is number 5? There's another little pin deal. Oh, there's a support. Oh, interesting. So there's another support. So his stomach. Oh, that's what that is. There's a support pin that goes in his stomach that helps hold the gun up, so that it's just not only hanging from the hands. That's cool. Well, we'll wait until we get the weapon on before we figure out how that hose connects. Nice. Yeah, this definitely looks like the spewer, like from the bloat drones. Whoa. There we go. Oh, really? Huh. So that hand, oh, I guess it's just the handle. I thought it looked like another little knob that you had to insert somewhere into 2 halves or something, but no, it's just the end of the handle. Just looks like the same thing they did on the neck, but it's just the handle. Yeah, I heard people when these first came out, because I hadn't really, most of the old metal Plague Marines, yeah, I think they only did metal. I don't think they were ever resin. They just looked like melted candles, like the details, like the idea of Nurgle was just to make them kind of melty looking. So these are nice. The details on it, but some people, I mean, I really liked the personality and the detail and how fun they were to paint and model, but some people said they were a little too cartoony or a little too ridiculous. There seems to be a little bit of a tension in 40k where people that are real serious about the grim dark and they want things to be real, you know, as gruesome as possible, and then there are still people that have the that enjoyed the more original sensibility from the, you know, late 80s, early 90s, because it is a ridiculous setting, but there's a lot of people that want to take it really, really seriously. So something that is a little bit more playful, like orcs or some factions, they don't like that. Sorry. Oh, that's actually a pin. There's one more piece here. So are they going to make me actually put that? Oh, they want you to do it a piece at a time? That's weird. Yeah, they want you to do 2 halves. So I guess you're putting it in its hands as well. Oh, I see. They want you to do that so you see that little support pin correctly. That's odd. So which half of this goes in the Marine? The straight half. All right. Oh, hope that's not too loud. Oh yeah, it's a. So maybe this way. It's odd. So now his little thing, he's got a knob. So hang his gun on. Okay, I think I'm just gonna leave him like that. I'm gonna model him just straight like that. That's great. Handless with his joint out. All right. Yeah, so that just, oh yeah, so yeah, there really isn't. The hands are just going to line up. And hopefully, yeah. Oh, no. I'm glad I looked. It is another one of these pegs where they want you to seat it in there. Oh, that's funny. And annoying, because if I was just about to glue this plague spewer together, and if I would have done that, I would have had to pull it apart again. So yeah, here's the whole assembly, and so the peg on the back, there's a hole on his back that peg goes into, and then turn it around and then the pin which you can see here, goes into there. Yeah, so they do really want you to probably be only push fitting this, because the cement will, you know, create some assembly mistakes. But I mean, it's not a big deal. You just cut the pin off, and then, or you cut that head off, and then just glue it to the back. But yeah, as far as following instructions, they don't. Make it all that fun. Let's get some of that seam here, and I'm off camera. Awesome. Okay, so I just dabbed. I guess I just don't want to drip cement. I have to hold it so far forward. I don't want to drip cement, so I just want to. Oh, that's not meeting as well as it should. But oh yeah. Oh, there we go. So a nice little squeeze, and you can get it to, you can get that seam to, you know, practically disappear. Yeah, back here as well. Oof. So I don't want to go too far to the end, because I don't want to glue that, because I'm not sure what the rotation is that I'm going to need. But we'll see. All right. Okay, so let's see how we did here. Yeah, I guess that's why they want you to put it on. That's so weird, though, to put it on like piece at a time. So gonna rotate that out of the way and just line up the hands. Wow, funny. Sorry, I gotta pay attention. Maybe I should. Yeah, it's the. I'm kind of avoiding the leaning on the microphone as well, so that's a little bit of my trouble. Are these hands actually going to line up? Yeah, oh, there we go. That's right. I got rotation on the arms, so I can get them to seat better. There we go. Well, there is our first Plague Marine. Yeah, that's funny. How complicated they made that assembly. Oh, but it's nice that the barrel's already hollowed out for you. That's a nice starter thing, yeah, because you have these solid barrels, and so you have to, with a pin vise, just kind of bore those out, or just take a Dremel tool or something. So usually those are sealed up, so it's nice. They got them opened up. And pretty good. Everything's meeting pretty good. I'll take another. Oh, that's great. Oh, wait. Can he? Oh, no. He's not touching. Oh, no, he is. He's eating the slime off of the gun. Oh, that's great. He's eating the plague off of the spewer. Yeah, see, he's reaching out, and there's a little drip. Oh, let's get this closer so you can see. So he's got his little arm reaching out, and he's grabbing that drip, and as you can see, he's already got a mouthful of plague spew. Yeah, so I'm sorry, easily entertained, but I like that the personality and kind of the character of this kind of model. But yeah, there's definitely, I think there's a tension between people that just, there's nothing funny about this, and the people that are entertained by just the ridiculousness of the setting. All right, so there's our first guy. Let's take a look at our next blind box. Yeah, so pretty big stickers on there, because they try to make these as tamper-proof as possible, and often in the stores, you'll see these boxes, and they'll put tape on every seam, so you can't even gap or, you know, take any kind of a peek in there. They're pretty serious in Japan about you getting these as blind as possible. So here's our first bit of the night. All right. Oh, nice. Look at that. Big damage on that plate and the Nurgle Symbol. Oh, he's a standard bearer. Look at that. Nice standard. Wow. So again, we have the, oh yeah, there's our guy that we just did. But here we have the character. Yeah, so he's a pretty triumphant looking standard bearer. So this guy. So we've done him and him so far. Nice. And again, all the locations in Japan. And then our card. Nice. Well, I guess, yeah, everybody's got a name because they're all heroes. So they're not named characters technically, but they're all Plague Marines with some personality. Oh, that's cool. We'll have a bunch of these little boxes now. Let's see if there's any odd... Now he looks even more straightforward. Oh, we do have a head choice, though. Oh, yeah, we got to go for the Cyclops Helmet. Yeah, right there at the top. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, this guy's really straightforward. He's just got a couple tentacles and that. So here, let's take a look at the sprue real quick. And as you can see, the plastic, it's a little a little more flexible, and it cleans up a little differently than the gray plastic. I don't know what that is. Oh, I didn't even check. That's the thing I wanted to check. Well, 8 and up, so yeah, they are encouraging younger people, but no, they don't have... When they were doing that before, they had a symbol that they were putting on the boxes, and they don't do that anymore. But it was like a gear, like a tool and a gear symbol with a little strike through it, so like no tools required kind of thing. Or maybe they gave that up because... Oops, sorry. Maybe they gave that up because they were thinking they want people to cut these out instead of breaking them out. Sorry. I'm doing some microphone adjustment at this time. So hopefully the level is okay and not... I haven't been touching it too much, I hope. But let's see here. Yeah, so let's kind of do the same routine. So yeah, look at some nice detail on the little scenic. Hey, it's not very scenic. Oh, there's a lot of little mouths. Oh, there's a little tiny Nurgling right under his boot. Nice. But yeah, it looks like 2 body halves, and the heads again with the big tabs. Yeah. So yeah, but great detail on the so I guess I'm never off camera because of the webcam, but yeah, you're missing some of the close-ups of some of the stuff. So just, if you've never done this before, just taking the flat, so you have your clippers and you can see there's kind of a rounded side and a flat side, and the flat side just goes as close against the model as possible. And if you've got a strange part that you can't quite get flush with, like it's not a nice easy cut like that, but something a little more difficult, you can actually just cut it. Try to do it so you can see it. Cut it here into the sprue where you know that you don't, where you're leaving a lot on the actual piece itself. I think I'll do that again here for this arm. But don't really need to do it here because I can get right against the sword. And then you'll see, now once it's off the sprue, it's so easy to get then right into where you need it to be. So you don't have to worry about, any damage that would have been done, either removing too much or like on a curved piece, since this is a straight edge, you might make a mark or cut it in a weird way. So just first snip it with a lot of extra material left and then move in after the piece is off the sprue. So that's just very basic stuff, but if you've never done it before, it's a good thing to keep in mind so you're not also having to do so much repair. So you see the places where it's connected, there should be extra material that you can scrape away. It shouldn't be a hole. So if you just pried these off manually, or just bent the piece until it came off the sprue, if you just did that, then you would have, there's a little bit of a seam in between those studs. but not too bad. Yeah, so if you just bent it off, then you would have a hole instead of extra material. So it's better to have to scrape something away to make it smooth than to have to actually repair something. All right. Oh, just on the heel. Yeah, so they did a good job, too, of placing the connections in places that it's okay if they're not perfectly smooth, because they're all going to be hidden. I don't know. I gotta work on camera position. I think it needs to be closer to me, and yeah, that might help all around. Here, let's see if we can do that real quick. Let's just do a little bit of that. Yeah, so if you could see, I just have the camera. I've got a PVC, like a big U of PVC pipe, just a stand that I built with the camera braced on it, and then a webcam down in front of me that's actually got a weird angle now. But, so here's our two halves, and I won't make the same mistake of pushing them together because the head has to go into there. But yeah, a nice stout standard bearer. Oh, that's great. Look at that holster with the little Nurgle fly on it. Ah, it's great. So, there's the microphone. But, let's see here. So, as far as head choices, yeah, I think I definitely want to do the horn and the Cyclops, because look at that gaping mouth. That's excellent. Look at that guy. Ba-bam. That's great. Yeah, he's got the same eye as the plague drones. Yeah, I'm not a real fan of the unit, but I love the individual. Oh my god, I'm totally blanking. Plague zombies. There's a plague zombies in the Deathguard forest. What do they call them? I almost had it, but I don't like the unit. I think they're kind of garbage, and I think cultists actually, for the points, are a little bit better. I guess if you want to hold a point with a big mess of idiots that have a saving throw of 7, you can do your plague zombies. But yeah, I love the personality. The sculpts are so great because they look just like people that like walked out on their jobs. They all look like mechanics and factory workers and things that just kind of were taken by Nurgle and just kind of wandered away from the assembly line or from the machine that they were working on. And again, they did the same thing where they got the plates lined up. That's great. And I think that's the only thing. Let's take a look real quick at the base. Yeah, it's got its little diamond. So I'll just drop some cement in there so I can get a nice fit. So if you don't cement and you just push fit, I think sometimes you will run into the trouble of it gapping, it separating, depending on how much like tension there is on that pin in there. So just a little bit of cement, which actually I think I'm using a lot more than you need to, but a little bit of cement, and then you can just put some pressure, and that gap will never open again, because that's the difference between like super glue and the plastic cement. The plastic cement is actually melting the plastic, chemically melting the plastic, and having it fuse back together from the contact with the other piece. So if you have cement on both halves, they start to melt together, and then you press them together, and they hold pretty well. And they say that that's, in a lot of cases, that's a better bond. It's a stronger bond, is the plastic melted together than actually super glue holding like a piece of plastic onto something, or two pieces of plastic together, because you're actually making one piece of plastic. Because once it's fused, it's there. Nice. Yeah. Still the same great style. Nice plague knife. I'm assuming that's this hand. Yeah, that's right, because the other one's holding the standard. Yeah, I just want to make sure this pin is not going to give me trouble with any extra material. I think it was actually the backpacks on the push fit. What was it, First Strike, or one of those box sets that they did after Dark Imperium had push fit Primaris Marines, and their backpacks were sitting like a couple millimeters off of the back. So basically you had to just cut the pins off and stick them straight on because there's too much gapping. Nice. Yeah, I like that head. Oh, so he doesn't have a Nurgling, he has like a worm. A lovely Nurgle worm friend. It looks like he's smiling. Look at this thing. A Nurgle slug. Beautiful. Yeah, so great little details. Look at that face. But I like there was a description, so the it's kind of like a weird ecstasy, or kind of a weird, like the laughing and the why so many of the plague zombies and that's not what they're called. What are they called? But so many of the things affected by Nurgle are smiling because it's a happy, playful thing. There's like, it's just to be stuck between life and death in this like eternal sickness is a kind of weird immortality, and it's funny. Like there's a oh yeah, so that's gonna be our pose. Yeah, we might as well pin him up there, and then it looks like the standard will sit in there and then on his arm as well. Yeah, these poses are great. I mean, mono pose, I think there's a lot more dynamic look to the models, although you don't have options, and you've got a lot of useless bits, and kit bashing is like almost off the table in a lot of cases unless you're gonna really, I mean, I saw somebody do a really crazy, the Typhus model that they released has kind of he's raising his scythe kind of in a crazy celebratory way, and some people didn't like the weird kind of the wonkiness of that pose, and they wanted a more straightforward, like the original metal Typhus, which they made more straightforward because of the they couldn't do so many delicate supports and things out of the white metal. So there's a little seam line on here, but so I saw somebody that kit basher to just kind of reposition the whole thing, just cut every single joint away. So at every single joint, the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, and took all of those pieces and then just refused them together, or like repositioned them together, and then just green stuffed all the gaps or the places where there's just too much missing. Oh, here's the Nurgling in here. Oh yeah, he's sticking his face through the third circle there on the that's great. Yeah, see, there he is from the back. So he stuck his face in there to become part of the standard. And a couple of these worms that are crawling up the standard itself. Wow, that's great. All right. So is there another part of his arm? Nope, it doesn't look like it, just backpack. Yeah, that's it. So I guess that is his elbow. So that goes in there. Oh wait, actually, I don't know if that's going to be visible, but I may as well get rid of this just in case, because it'll be really hard to get rid of it after it's glued. So let's see here. Yeah, so we haven't set up anything to do any actual plays or anything remotely, but it's been a real tough time to be making content for Idle Red Hands because we cannot get together. There we go. Wow, that's great. Oh, and you do have a little bit, because it is just a pin, you've got some options for the position. I mean, the angle is probably going to dictate. You don't want to go too far off axis. But yeah, you can kind of do a little bit more celebratory sword wave there. But you got a little bit of option for that position. But these are great. Yeah, there's really nice detail, and everything having a scenic base means there's so much more detail and much less basing. All you have to do is paint instead of sand and texture the bases. All right, and backpacking, I think we're done. Oh, and that's right. He's got a tentacle coming out of his stomach. One more detail. Yeah, so the seam is right along where the texture changes on the tentacle, so that's nice. Makes it very easy. Very cool. And it looks like it's just coming down. Oh yeah, it popped through his plate. And it's just hanging down. Let me make sure that angle works. Yeah, it's just hanging down. That's a little... that would be easier to glue than to push in there. There we go. But there's his little tentacled guts spilling out. Excellent. And all we've got left is the backpack. So yeah, if anybody has any recommendations for what their favorite system is, or their favorite software is, for playing remotely, whether it's Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds, or what is their preferred virtual tabletop, yeah, please let me know either in the chat or in the comments if you're watching this from the archive, because yeah, I'm really curious, and I wouldn't mind trying, especially this is perfect time to try some of that stuff. And I think a lot of them are offering discounted prices now, or like unlocking all of their premium features, just so you get to feel the full experience. And then if you continue using it, you won't want to go back to the free version. So it was perfect timing to do a little bit of for those guys to do a little bit of marketing, because they know there's going to be a influx of new players, because I don't think everyone's going to try to play on Zoom. Yeah, I'm curious, because I see a lot of the people that do the multi-window live streams, and I'm curious what the best software is for that. Although I don't really like watching. I mean, it's bad enough this little weird webcam window, so you see a human is actually talking to you, but to watch a role play session not at a table, but in those little windows, because everyone's got like headphones and their little gamer headphones and stuff. It's a little bit distracting, and I don't think you can play off of each other quite as well in a session when you're not in the same room. There's definitely something that's lost, because you won't have moments and things, unless you have very dramatic video conference calls. I don't think. Oh, there's a little much. And so the thing you want to be careful, because it does melt the plastic, is if you get any spill, anything going over, you don't want to squeeze that softened plastic. Whoops. Because it's so soft that you're going to put your fingerprints right into it. So I will avoid doing that. As you can see too, when I squeeze, you can see a little bit of the plastic, the melting plastic, just kind of goosh up there. That's the technical term, goosh. But yeah, you squeeze, and if you squeeze too hard, you can actually deform the piece a little bit. And here's our alternate head, which is very Resident Evil looking for some reason. All right, that's everything off of that sprue. And so we're going to have a collection of unhelmeted heads. Nice. So not huge additions to the bits box, but I think a lot of these monopose, that's part of the problem, is you maybe have a weapon option and a head option, and that's it. Yep, and there's his backpack. It's pretty high. Nice. So there's him done. So the only Nurgling is on the standard, and then we've got these worms crawling up the staff of the standard and the one on the base, and a lot of like things forming or look like they're coming up through the ground. So he's going to be surrounded very soon. He's getting a lot of ground swell. Nice. Yeah, and you got a little bit of option about how triumphant he wants to look holding the banner. Nice. So that's number 2. I was going from the back here, so let's continue going from the back and see if we're going to get Mr. Question Mark, who looks pretty elaborate, almost like a champion or a lieutenant. All right. So looks like he's just got a frag grenade and a bolter. Pretty straightforward looking guy. Oh yeah, so here's our options. Whoa, yeah, there's a very monstrous head and then a very Space Marine head. Let's take a look. Is that? Oh, and the instructions. All right. So it looks like, is it? Yeah, it's the guy chucking the grenade. Oh, no, it's not. Is it? Has he got the knife? Does he have a knife in his hand? Or... Yeah, because that's a crazy pose. He's like got his foot off the ground. Oh, I think it is. Yeah, I think it is the guy chucking the grenade. Oh, that's great. Oh, I guess all will be revealed if I did this. Yes, it is. Yeah, that pose is great. He's kind of hauling back and got his one foot almost off the ground. Yeah, his foot is off the ground. There he is. Awesome. Oh, no, so there is a game. There is a game to this because there are some symbols here. So, yeah, I'll have to look into that. And here's his wonderful flavor. But there's, yeah, so the illustration is, yeah, I like that head. I'm a sucker for the one-horn weird heads. But here's another straightforward guy. Yeah, I think I'll go with actually the exposed head on this guy because it's pretty gruesome. And you can make the flesh all purpley and strange, so it has a great contrast against the... Yeah, it's very, very ugly. This is more kind of sterile and mysterious and straightforward, but that is an ugly head. Yeah, wow. His foot is off the ground. And that's why he's got a big hex pin, too, so you can keep the angle correct. Yeah, oh, that's cool. Yeah, so it looks like he's dropped a bunch of grenades on the base itself. Ah, very cool. And we'll take this other half of his body. And he's got a weird pin on the side there. What's that for? Oh, for his, yeah, just his bolter goes on his hip. Cool. So let's take a quick look and see. These two body halves are pretty great. They hide that seam totally because the front part, the plate is wider. So you're going to see the seam because there's a difference in the width. So that's pretty cool. Sorry about that. And yeah, there's not anything bad at all. Yeah, because our only connections were, we cut them just off of the pins, so there's nothing. Oh, and the foot here, a little bit. But that's it. Sorry, off camera again. Yeah, I think I just got to get this closer in. Okay, so I'll seat it on this pin a little bit. Well, not even. So I want to get that head in there first. Yeah, but nice details. Just covered with, grenades are everywhere. Falling off of them. Yeah, that's a nice grotesque head. He's got the 3 holes in his forehead, the Nurgle symbol. That's great. Yeah, so that's the only thing I don't like is you should just cut that off and you could seat the head however you wanted, but if you do it this way, it actually kind of limits the position. But I think it fits the pose a little bit better in that way. All right. Oh, this one's got a little bit more rotation. All right, let me just drop a little cement in there and in here, especially this boot doesn't look like it's going to sit. Oh, sorry about that. If you heard a pop. Okay, cool. Under this arm needs some help. Okay. Just hold for a few seconds while everything smooshes all together. Yeah, so it just fuses that plastic. That's cool. Wow, that's a gruesome face. That's great. Looks like he's been caught in a few blasts. Nice. Well, I'm so curious about his pose here. Oh yeah, there's the hex. So they want, let me see. Ooh, that's a tight fit. Jeez. Okay, well, that's pretty cool though. He's like only on one leg, but they're making you really pay to get that leg on there. Damn. That's, oh, there we go. Yeah, I just needed something to push against. That's really cool. And that's something that I think they had a lot more trouble, until plastic, it had a lot more trouble doing that because you could, easily regret a pose that only had one point of contact on the base. Cool. Oh yeah, here's the 2 halves of the bolter. So these are plague grenades, right? I think these are specifically Nurgle. They're not crack or standard issue. I think they've got some disease because they do have they've got three skulls on them for Papa Nurgle. So I think they're specifically disease-ridden plague grenades. Nice, and yeah, you got a little bit of play on this too, how far you want him to hold it over his head before he looks ridiculous. And a pin for the Nurgling at his feet, who is also holding grenades. Oh, and he's got a grenade pin over one of his horns. So if you can see the... over one of his horns there's a pin, and the hand, this arm that I haven't put on yet, has got a pin in the hand as well. He pulled the pin on the grenade and is about to throw it. Let's see. Yeah, but not bad at all as far as mold lines. So always there's some theming. Oh yeah, so he's got nice. Yeah, so there's a nice theming there. They're both doing the grenade thing, and yeah, here's his arm with the pin. So this is what's around the horn of the Nurgling. There's the pin that he pulled that's on his one finger. Nice. Yeah, but it's a real shame. It's been, since they were one of the first factions, it's a shame Deathguard have fallen so far out of favor, at least competitively. I haven't heard anybody saying anything good online about Deathguard, but they might get some kind of update. And Chaos itself just seems like it's you gotta kind of do the soup list, the best of you take advantage of all the little cheese. Oh, nice. Yeah, so he just ripped the pin out and he's throwing the grenade. So I'll just later I'll do some cement under that arm there. That's great. So get the backpack and the bolter left. Yeah, there's the pin for the bolter. And let's add his head, his alternate head, to our little bit pile over here. So I hope anybody that's what is it, self keeping self quarantine, not quarantining. I mean, quarantining is like the medical term for when you're infected, but anybody that's self-isolating, that's right. That's the lingo. Anybody that's self-isolating, I hope they're making good progress on their on their pile of shame, on all of the their unpainted 40k stuff. Yeah, I haven't painted any 40k, but I've done a lot of assembly of Wrath of Kings. Which compared to Warhammer models are garbage models, but I love the designs of the characters so much, and there was a bunch on sale ridiculously cheap, so I had to take advantage. I think it's like every couple of years they clear them out. Some of the online retailers clear them out because it's just a dead game. It's been dead since 2018, but kind of the legacy, a lot of the sculptors and designers from Confrontation, the Rackham game, Cool Mini or Not, come on, kind of grabbed them up and got them to work on an original IP for them, but it was basically just like a continuation of the work they were doing for Rackham. Very similar. The factions are, very similar, but there's also some original kind of styling. So maybe I'll get some of those on stream sometimes. I've just been doing, because they're much closer to board game level detail on the miniatures. So I've been just doing contrast paints on those, but they look great. There's some real messy detail. Get your arm out of the way. Some real weak detail on some of those models, but contrast paint seems to give me just enough color variation, and point that down a little bit because I think it's like on a strap. Yeah, we'll figure that angle out later. But he's slung, hopefully a magnetic clip on the side there. Slung his weapon and is flinging a grenade. But but there's some really cool faction ideas, like things that maybe got rejected or didn't would eventually have come out for one of the clans of Confrontation, one of the factions. But like the werewolves, the bipedal werewolf faction and everything, it's exactly what they have in Wrath of Kings. But yeah, they didn't support it for very long. It was a Kickstarter, and then they supported it with releases. They never did another Kickstarter campaign, and then it just kind of stopped being talked about, which is sad. Their Facebook group, it just kind of like, it's just gone. And so the messages that people leave are, is this game dead? I think if people are leaving those kind of messages, you might want to shut down the group, or at least pay somebody to write a message every year or so. All right. and backpack. Wow. There he is. 1 point of contact on that base. Look at that. So pulling the pin and throwing the grenade. And maybe he just catches the pins and puts them around his horns. Nice. Oh, that's cool. Great Nurgle detail. We are halfway there, and it's only been an hour. All right. I'm pulling yet another another box from the box. Let's see. Will it be the mystery figure? I hope I don't get any duplicates. I was under the assumption that it was one of each. Yeah, no duplicates. Oh, looks like the flail. That looks like a flail. There it is. Nice. Oh, is this flail? Yeah. Oh, it's a Nurgle. I thought that was a head, but it's a Nurgling hanging on to one of the flails. Nice. One of the heads of the flail. Yeah, if you can ever get these guys into melee combat, they've got some great up-close weapons. The problem is they're so damn slow. Oh, here's a caution. Oh, they're making you put a pin inside something. And again, yep, 2 head options and an Nurgling on the base. Oof. I don't know. The options here for head are, I think that helmet. We'll see what the actual helmet looks like. Let's take a look at the actual sprue. Yeah, I think the helmet is looking pretty good for this. Although it doesn't have, it's pretty pristine. But that head is just, that's cool. It's got the side of his face all ripped away, but it's just kind of an ugly dude. Oh, and a big, oh no, it's just that's just the shadow of that pin. The whole side of his head was missing, but no. Yeah, I think I'll do the helmet, and then I don't have to paint eyes. That would be the only reason. All right. I'll take a look at both, maybe. Show you both on the model itself, so we can decide that way. Oh yeah, so one of the flails, one of the heads did break off of his flail because it's on the base. Yeah, so very narrative. Everything that's happening on the model is also reflected on the base. That's cool. And I like how they put the footprints, so you know like where they're going to position. Also, it helps for gluing them down, but where the foot is going to be positioned. So that's the Nurgling, and there's the 2 feet. Makes it really easy to orient it on the base, because you know what's forward and you know what is not a foot when there's when it's scenic and there's details like that. That's so cool. They do the footprints in the dirt. All right, I think that's going to be covered, but just in case. All right, and that one. Yeah, so some of the Dark Imperium had this, the little mold line between the little spikes. That's kind of a pain. Yeah, but all in all, I think because these are, newer pulls from these molds, but almost nothing as far as mold lines. Sorry. Yay. All right, so a big pin. I hope that goes all the way in. Let's just take a quick look. So 1 and 2. Better 1, better 2. Oh yeah, I think I like that already. But let's give his little Jason Voorhees behind the hockey mask head a shot. Yeah, I think we'll go with the helmet. It's nice and it's gruesome, but it looks so tiny, unless it's got some really great detail. Or like a horn or some kind of real crazy mutation. He just looked pissed. Oh no, the helmet does have some distress. There's a big chunk taken out of the back, so it's not completely pristine for a Nurgle head. Okay. Wow, but that's a really long pin. I hope it compresses all the way. Or we might have to do some emergency surgery on this guy. Oh, do we have an arm that needs to be in there too? Let me check. Oh, who knows, because I'm looking at the wrong one. No. It doesn't look like... Let's see. No, it's just a nub. Oh, yeah. It's just a little nub for it to sit in. All right, well, let's just hit it with a little glue. Just so I can hide as much of that as possible. Yeah, it seems like up by the body, the upper body, the line is a little bit worse. The legs, because they've got that nice little plate trick, the legs don't seem to be gapping. But the body's got a little bit. Yeah. Cool. Okay. There we go. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Pose, yeah, he's got a nice kind of lean forward, like putting his weight forward to move the flail. Shows the weight of that humongous thing. And here's a nice plague knife. Yeah, it's got good detail for his side there. Yeah, so I guess if you had like two of these sets, you could kind of swap some of the weapons around and things just to give a little bit of variety. So you'd have head options and then some of these like sidearms, like I could put a bolter on his side or whatever. I mean, unless you're very strictly WYSIWYG with the with how you equip. I keep picking up the previous fella. The knife goes on his back, right? Yeah, I think that's what I'm supposed to be looking at. I remember all the Dark Imperium guys had knives on their backs, but we'll see. Oh, drop into Sprue. Oh, sorry, I should be keeping an eye on Discord as well. The notice went out. Okay. No, we're good. But yeah, I've got the comments for both Twitter and YouTube up, so if anybody wants to chime in, feel free. Yeah, it's just that. Nice. Yeah, I think I just need the camera like just a few more inches this way, and then I can do everything on camera. I'll definitely make that change when I start doing painting, because that's just ridiculous when you're like like this doing a painting stream and completely off cam. But I think the setup, so I'm using a cam link, one of those little dongles that converts HDMI signal into just a USB input that then you can stream out. And I've got a 4K webcam or camcorder hooked up to that, so it gives me the lens is nice and it gives me nice focus, much better than the webcam. Sometimes the focus bounces and it's like gets a little funky. And I think this even has a decent microphone on it, but I'm just using the Yeti instead to make sure that everything is nice and clear. But sorry, unfortunately that means I'll be doing things like that. Oh, so there's two Nurglings on this guy. He's got one on his base and then one hanging from the flail. Nice. Clean up his little nurgling shoulder. Oh, this guy's got a little bit of a seam. But just like one of those hair thin seams. But it looks tiny now, and then as soon as you prime it, it just stands out like the Great Wall. So frustrating missing a mold line before you prime. Or, you know, missing one and then priming. And not having a lot of options about how to fix that. Yeah, I like that. I mean, the pins are not great to work with, but they do give you a little bit of variation. You can kind of angle things to make it look a little more in that place, or sitting right, or kind of matching the, you know, eye line of the what the character is doing or whatever. That seems to work well. But yeah, so I guess time-wise, I'm probably very early hours North American time. And nobody wakes up early now. Because they've got no jobs to go to, nothing to do. So I think I should probably do this early morning my time, so that I can catch people late at night, which I'll do tomorrow with the drawing. The drawing stream. Oh, my voice might give out, so I may have no choice. Oh, okay, there's the pin. Now that's why they have you do a pin. So as you can see, that he's got a little hole there, and then that just kind of seats on that pin. So that's why there's no shoulder. It's just a little nub. There's no big shoulder support. And here's the pin. Oh, it's good. The two heads are different sizes, so it's easy to... Oh, actually, it's even better than that. It's a semicircle. Yeah, so you see right where it needs to go. Oh, nice. It's good when they do that. So the pin is actually down here to kind of catch that weight better. Nice. Wow, that's great. And then there's just a pin for that wrist. That's a great pose. The weight of it is very believable. But they don't let you have your choice of angle for the flail. That would have been nice, but I guess they want it to be stronger. Maybe that would make it easier to break, but be nice if you could have put it, you know, angled it behind his head or whichever. But you've got a flat pin there, flat-sided pin. All right, I think we're down to the backpack. Yeah, another interesting pose. And a juicy backpack. It's all dripping. Oh, and no, it's only one piece as well. All right. Wow. So how do I keep... Am I moving? What's I'm creeping off cam? I don't know how I'm doing that. There we go. Wow. Yeah, that's a great great pose. So we've got a Nurgling hanging here. Oh, who needs cleaned up on his backside a little bit. There we go. And then one on the base as well. So continuing their humorous... Oh yeah, so that's the warp-infused... What is that? The mace of something. The something flail. But that's nice. It does. If you roll really well for damage, it just damages everything. It just rolls through everything. Nice. All right. Okay. 4 down, 2 to go. Let's see. Oh, made in the UK. So no Chinese plastic here. Yeah, it didn't feel like I know the terrain is being made in China. But these are all UK cast. All right. Almost an empty box. And here he is. This is just the the bolter guy. That's a very skull. That face is just a skull. Hey, hey. Nice. Yeah, there's some kind of game, and everyone's named. That's funny. Oh, so just a skull and some spent shells on the base there. And for head choices, we have none. Interesting, yeah. Oh, no, there is. There's a helmeted one as well. There he is. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to go with the Eddie head there. It's a very skull-like. That's pretty cool. All right. Yeah, so skulls and shells on the base. And yeah, it looks pretty straightforward. There's a head option, which was nice, but that's it. Oh, and his gun is in 2 pieces too. And a Nurgling on the base. That seems to be a theme. This is the 3rd series. So that's why you don't do Space Marines, because they don't have Nurglings on their bases. Yeah, what was it that I was just reading that did a really good depiction? Oh, I think it was the oh, was it? No. Oh, the Plague. I think it was Plague Wars, the 2nd book in the series that they did for Dark Imperium. So it's Ultramarines versus Deathguard, and the way they talked about like the taunting sounds, the like singing and taunting of the Nurglings, and how distracting and bizarre it was on the battlefield was good. It was a good detail. Oh, there's a little bit on his leg there. Yeah, there's just a little bit of difference with this plastic that holds the color that I've noticed. It's a little more flexible or something. So it feels a little bit different to clean up. I noticed I get some more like stringing, or there's something a little bit different that I've noticed that could just be all in my head, just like blue things taste like blueberry. It could be my imagination because it's not that standard gray. Oh, this head is great. Very satisfied and angry. And he's only got one eye. Nice. Oh, cool. Yeah, 2 pins for his arms. So yeah, pretty straightforward. I just want to make sure he's like looking down the barrel. I think, yeah, that'll be the best pose. And again, just a little bit of cement up high here, because this seems to be where I'm getting the worst gapping. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, see. Uh-oh, have I bent this pin? No. Oh, it's just got a really weird angle. That's strange. There it is. Yeah, it was really a really sharp, like 45-degree angle inside there. So pressing like this was never going to get them to. You have to kind of angle it a little bit so it can catch. But yeah, I like that edge there. It's really clean. Oh, there you saw a little bit. Oh, that was off camera, but you saw a little bit. There's a little bit of my fingerprint right there. So I have to wait for that to dry, and then I'll scrape that a little bit flatter. But yeah, see, it caught on the edge there, and I touched it, and it put my... I will show you my sin right here. Yeah, there's my fingerprint right in that leg armor. Yeah, I must have actually gotten it on my finger and touched. But once it's not soft anymore, we can rub away all those sins, or at least take the ridges out, so it doesn't look so obviously like a fingerprint. There he goes. Oh, and a nice big skull on the knee there. That's great. Okay. So, one here and one here. Oh, that's a little odd. It doesn't seat super well. There we go. Bum, 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 bum. Nice. Oh, so where does this come from? Oh, off of his shoulder? Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's nice. In the art and stuff, they do both versions, both head versions. Whoa. Dropping everything. They do both head versions, so you can get one for the assembly and then one for the illustration. Sorry, I am actually doing something, just not where you can see it. Oh, I need the shoulder pad. It's coming out of the shoulder. Yeah, there it is. So this is what we were looking for. There's a little, I think it's okay. It's going to be on that pin. Well, it's a little bit up to the little leg. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so it's just going to be a pretty standard grip there, although the one place that I didn't cut it very clean is going to be very visible. There we go. Yeah, I need to configure this a little differently so that I can be scraping everything on camera. There we go. And I've made quite a mess on my little cloth here. But it's better than the ugly bare desktop or table. Alright, so these will adjust on the pins a little bit, so I'll just wait until they're in the right position before I want to glue them, and then find out that one's too high to hold the rifle. Yeah, that's a real pain with Infinity models. The Corvus Belli game, where they have this same pose where you've got two shoulder joints and then no hands. The hands are on the gun, and you're connecting wrist to hands on a weapon, and then two shoulders, and it's white metal, so that's a real pain to do if you make any mistakes, because there's no pins or anything. You're just kind of positioning it as best you can. I'll put the Nurgling on the base. Sorry, yeah, the microphone. Maybe I should have the microphone above me. That actually might be above me and off camera might make more sense, because having it low, maybe it's closer, but yeah, you're getting a lot of contact with the mic that I think is much more annoying than if my voice wasn't so clear. He's holding a skull. They're involved with whatever is scenically on the base. Yeah, nice. Yeah, just a pretty straightforward. Just holding his bolter, so he'll have a backpack and a bolter, and that'll be him. So here is the backpack. Some nice details, lots of skulls for this guy, including his head. Yeah, usually I try to reserve for champions or, you know, some rank. I don't think they've got lieutenants in Deathguard, but somebody of rank or that is it has a different weapon or whatever. I like to reserve the no helmet so they're easy to pick out visually. But that head is just too great. And it's got a single horn, so I couldn't resist. But that's a great, if I can get the shadow off of it, that is a great face. Yep. It's probably easier to see on the box. Alright, so this head can join the bits. And yeah, I'll have to go back and I checked it just on my phone, but I'll go back and see the sound quality and see how annoying some of the damage is that I'm doing to your ears by bumping the microphone. And if it's doesn't have contact with the table, so you shouldn't have really any bad vibrations or anything. No bad vibes, man, but it should be it might be a little noisy because I'm making a lot of contact with it. Oh, weird. Yeah, there's like a handmade piece of wood or something on the handle for the bolter. That's ugly in a Nurgle way. All right. Yeah, here's another situation where there's some weird gapping. Just try to push some of this together, especially on the barrel. That's nice though. Again, you don't have to drill the barrel. They gave you 2 halves. So these oh, looks like we need a pin in his stomach. These easy, the push fit ones often give you that. All right, well, they're not going to be so kind this time. Let me just take a quick look. So just that kind of goes up into his gut. That doesn't look right. Oh boy, yeah, this is not a good one. Yeah, the bolter's not even very big. I don't know why they thought they needed to do this again. Yeah, it doesn't sit. They don't give you a good orientation for this pin because it needs to, it needs to sit like this. So yeah, maybe it's easy just to put the pin in there and rotate it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it was better to use the gun to push the pin in, and then the arms kind of rotate where they need to be. Yeah, and that's him. Is there anything I missed? Nope. That is him. Here's for 2019, so I guess I haven't been sitting that long. Just a year. I just felt guilty, and this is a good opportunity, as everyone is afraid of death by disease. I'll be tastelessly assembling Nurgle miniatures. All right. And our 6th and final Plague Marine. I don't think we got Mr. Question Mark. So we have, well, we did. Now that's, let me see, that may be him. Oh, that could be. Let's see. Oh yeah, I think that is. Let's take a look at our little selection here. Yes, that is Mr. Question Mark. So, oh, sorry. Yeah, so in all the other, so who didn't we get? Oh, we didn't get the Sorcerer. Ooh, that's a shame. Oh, no, wait. Oh, no, these are the 6, and I think this is the guy in the Easy build, yeah. Space. Paint set. Hi. Okay, so this is the guy in the paint set. That might be worth getting. The sorcerer from the paint set. That's cool because I could definitely use another HQ. Okay, so that was there's a little asterisk there. So he's in the this guy, the paint set, and then these are the 6. So we do get one of each. I was not led astray. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, I don't know. Hope he's got a good head alternative. Oh, maybe not. Yikes! Look at that guy. Hello. Oh, this might not be an easy choice. So here, the mystery is finally revealed. So it looks like just a hose from this tank has fallen onto the base there. Oh, but it's cool. Yeah, he's definitely looks like a champion because that's a Plaguesword and a plasma. Yeah. But I don't know. I do not like that bear head. Or maybe I'll swap the heads. So I won't be playing the character game. Is there a head I like more? So I do like bear heads for champions. Yeah. Yeah, champion. Plague champion. I do like the... Okay, so let's take a quick... I do not like that head. That's very goofy. And it looked like it had long hair in the illustration, but it just looks goofy. It's got a tube coming off of it. So are there any more champion-like heads? Actually, I would have really liked the skull head would have been a good champion. Okay, so from the previous 5... the Bane head. The Resident Evil head. Oh, none of these. The ugly, that's okay if it had some more deformation. Or the mysterious helmet. Okay, we can't do the helmet. And I don't think Bane or... I don't know. That sucks. I don't like a champion with a helmet. I mean, I guess I'll be able to tell from his gear. But everything before, I always... my champions always had bear helmets, like people do with their whatever it is in Space Marines lieutenants or whatever, like bear helmets for the guys that do the extra attack or have the higher leadership or whatever in a unit. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that head. Yeah, I wish it was a horn instead of just like a weird little esophagus or windpipe coming off of his head. Decisions. Okay, definitely not that one. And I even like... Well, I guess it's a lot more like the Blight Lord. That's kind of like what they're going for there. Is the... the Blight Lord helmet. I don't know. We'll take a look and see what they look like. I guess... The Resident Evil guy looks pretty pissed. So that might be a good one. Or this guy with like half of his face missing. Yeah, he's... I don't know. It's a shame. I do not like that. Those tubes are silly. Well, Deathguard is silly, so I guess I'm gonna have to face it. But yeah, I'm not loving that head choice. That's too bad. I was all about this until they until they came up with that head. Usually like that, like the champion is usually like screaming, like he has one of those, rage faces. Like this guy, like this is my champion's head. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's great. Man, should I pry that apart and get that, cut that head off of there? I don't know. Is that it? No, I don't want it. No, I won't do it. It's too perfect with the bolter. It's meant to be a bolter face, although he is like swinging his sword, so that would work as well. Okay, gotta get another set. Gotta get another set. Damn. That's another long ass pin. Okay, so let's clear off the other two and or other four, and take a look. I do not like this head. It's just too sedate and too, yeah, just kind of dar. Okay, so we're dealing with this guy. A champion with a helmet? It's a big helmet, but still. Oh, they have a very specific angle. That's funny. They have to be looking away. Oh, so maybe the other helmets aren't going to work very well. That just doesn't look champion to me, or at least, the kind of what they've already done, the precedent that they've set before. The helmeted champion, I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing really on the helmet that's, I mean, I guess it is. Yeah, it definitely is a more of a higher ranking looking helmet, but oh man, what about this guy? And then we have the oh, it's tiny though. That's right. That's what I didn't like about this head, is it's real tiny. Well, I didn't think the just assembly part of this was going to be such a horrible decision to have to make. Yeah, that face is a little bit angrier, at least. Yeah. I just do not like this head. What's going on? He's got tubes, so he should have, like, tubes everywhere, and he just doesn't. Yeah, look, he's falling apart. There's like pieces all missing. Oh, that's just, oops, sorry. Sorry for your ears. Look at that goofball. That's terrible. Get out of here. That's a champion's head. Damn. No, I can't do it. That other one's too small, though. Oh, so what about Bane? Let's see here. Yeah, Bane's got the tubes off of his head as well. It's not quite as small as the other one. I think I'm going to have to definitely glue it down. Yeah, he definitely looks the most in trouble. He has the worst medical condition. Head choices. Yeah, I really hate those options. Okay, helmet. Oh, and then we've got the weird Resident Evil face. Oh, that's just too small, too. Too tiny. It's just disappearing in there. It looks angrier, but... Well, yeah, maybe more corrupted, though. Yeah, too small. Maybe Bane's going to win. But I'm not sure how well it's going to sit in here because it's a different shape. He's doing that. Maybe not. I'm just going to have to cut the whole thing if I want it. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut the whole thing. But I'm going to lose some of that detail. Let's see. That's not bad. But yeah, I don't think it's going to fit. I'm going to have to cut everything apart to make it work. Do I just go with the helmet? I don't know. It'll differentiate the champions. Oh, it's pretty distinctive. Yeah, this is just not going to work. I think I have to go with one of the heads unless I want to do a bunch of cutting. So with the big champion head, yeah, very Blight Lord looking. Yeah, and then the angle is going to be matching the pose exactly instead of looking a little askew. Sorry, off cam. Yeah, I guess we'll do this. We're going with a helmeted champion, a coward. Yeah, let's go with that. I just hate that unhelmeted version too much. It's miserably boring. It looks like he's fallen asleep. All right, there we go. Yeah, that'll work. Plus, once he's got all his crazy details on. Wow, I put a helmet on him. That's how bad that helmetless version was. Yeah, that might work. It might be okay. Yeah, the cape and everything, that'll set it apart enough, I think. Oh yeah. That'll work. Let's get his plasma arm. Okay, and the elbow. Yeah, I might get frustrated one day and just snip his head off and swap it with something else, but we'll see, because I might have some other bits, some alternative heads from other Plague Marines that may make me happier than that, so we'll see. We'll see if it stays. Because then if I cut it off too, the pin will give a lot of the part of the pin that I cut off will give a lot of support to the other head. There's another piece. Oh yeah, there it is. That's a little disappointing. They didn't really wow us with the mystery champion there. He's okay. I wonder if the other sets were guilty of that as well. Doing kind of disappointing lieutenants or whatever their mystery pieces were. Alright, let's get rid of some of this gap. Okay, so we need this cape. Is that really enough pin to... oh, it's got a little bit of a lip on it. I think this needs glued. Oh, there it goes. Oh, no, it did it. Just enough. Got a little squeeze here. Sorry. It's coming across the microphone. All right, and the Nurgle on his base. Looks like he's firing some piece of pipe or something that he found as a weapon. Yes. Ooh, I maybe should have put him on earlier. It's a little snug. Right down there. There he goes. All right. Oh, yeah, they should be connected. Oh, that's cute. There he goes. Yeah, that little tube was supplying his weapon. All right. Well, it's a champion with a helmet, and there's a little Nurgling. See this tube connected into that one that was on the base. So he's got his little weapon going, firing some maggots out of it. His maggot spewer, and there's another. Just a mouth looking Nurgling on top of the stacks. But yeah, looks good. That helmetless choice was rotten though for this champion, but he looks pretty cool otherwise. And that'll differentiate him. At least there'll be some variety. All right. Yeah, and so this, I guess this is minimal unit size as well, right? 5 plus a champion. Yeah. So that is fieldable right out of the box. And it's already pretty Nurgle colored plastic, so nice. Well, this has been fun. Let's just go, I guess, quickly through everything. Here's our grenade, our mystery champion with the helmet, and our grenade chucking maniac, the bolter with the crazy metal head. What? Oh, that's a great face. The mace of contagion. That is, what is that called? And a plague spewer. Yeah, I think this is a good kill team as well. This is a pretty well equipped kill team. And the standard bearer. Oh, actually, though, we don't need a standard bearer in kill team. I don't think that's even an option. But he's pretty excellent, too. Oh, that would have... I don't know. Champion-wise, that head might have worked well, too. Well, there they are. And I'll get these guys on Instagram once they start getting some paint on them. And so you can see the progress and see if he actually maintained his helmeted champion status. I'll have to take a look at my other champions and see how he fits. But they had a great one in the Dark Imperium that had big jowls, like a big rotted pustule-covered head and jowls, and he was like yelling. I always like that expression for champions, the screaming advance. But he's screaming under his helmet. He looks very violent and upset. And then we have our 6 alternate heads, and one that I know I will never use. Maybe I'll give it to a Space Marine player to hang off of his standard, off of his belt. The Bane head. Yeah, all right. Well, thank you for joining me. That was just a quick little 2 hours of assembly. I know that probably is the least exciting thing to watch, but I thought I would keep people company during this miserable time we're going through. And so I hope everyone has avoided any contact with any Nurgle-y anything, and that you are all doing well and keeping each other safe. So keep social distancing and self-isolating and all that good stuff. And yeah, and keep an eye out on the website. So we're still doing getting the weeklies posted, and there's a new lore series, not 40k related, surprisingly, a new lore series that we're working on that you should keep an eye out for. I'll put a teaser trailer up in the next day or so for that. And yeah, so idleredhands.com is the website. Follow us on Twitter at idleredhands. And if you'd like to support the website, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/idleredhands. And I'll be back next time, either assembling or painting or doing some hobby-related thing to kind of keep people company and keep the faith, and have something to listen to while you're being miserable in isolation. But until next time, this is try to make this as regular as possible because there is more time now that everyone's stuck at home. So until next time, take care. Bye.